Practice set 19, problem 1. Determine the depth of the machine groove in this steel block. The groove is really an isosceles triangle with two equal sides. We're going to draw a line across the top to fill in the gap, then determine its length. The entire span is 55 millimeters. We know we have a 20, so we'll subtract 20 here. We'll subtract the right-hand side of that gap, 23 from the total. That'll give us that gap span, and that results in a length of 12 millimeters. So our gap is 12 millimeters. Next, we will draw an altitude from the vertex to the line we just drew. This altitude bisects that angle of the groove, and it also bisects the gap or the line we drew, and resulting in two equal triangles. And let me draw one of those triangles enlarged so we can see the detail of what just happened. I've got this right-hand side of this triangle here, and this altitude bisected this gap length of 12, which means we have 6 from one side of that point of the altitude and 6 on the other side. So translating that, we have a length of our right triangle as 6 here. The altitude drawn in an isosceles triangle bisects the angle, so the original groove angle was 40 degrees. Half of that would mean we have an acute angle of 20 degrees. And our challenge is to determine the depth, which would be the length of this altitude that we drew. Solving this right triangle, we will use our acute angle that we know the measurement of for our reference angle, starting with labeling the sides then, hypotenuse opposite the right angle, A, our reference angle through the triangle. This side is the opposite, leaving the side we're looking for as the adjacent side. Since we're working with opposite and adjacent sides, that means we will need the tangent formula. So tangent of the angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Plugging in the values that we have, tangent of 20 degrees is equal to the opposite 6 over the adjacent are unknown. We'll multiply both sides by d to get the variable out of the denominator and eliminate the fraction. Next, we want to get the variable by itself. It's being multiplied by the tangent of 20. So to undo multiplication, we will divide both sides by the tangent of 20 degrees. 20 degrees, tangent of, and tangent of 20 degrees are the same thing. They cancel one another out, leaving d. And we will go to the calculator then to simplify the value that we have here and do the indicated division. I have a direct algebraic logic calculator downloaded on an iPad Air. And I will start with the numerator, 6, dividing it by the tangent of 20. So I will tap tangent. And since this is a DAL calculator, we do the trig function first and then the angle measurement. And you see I don't have an answer, so I have to hit the equals so that that division is calculated. This gives us a value for D, the depth of our cut in the problem, rounding to the nearest tenth of 16.5 millimeters.